Hello, everyone. Welcome to Weekends with Amit, and I am your host, Krishanu. Today's subject is how to relax. Now, some of you might ask quite genuinely, what is the point of making a webinar, wasting people's time to answer such a trivial question? And for a lot of people, this is a personal question because people have various ways of relaxing after a hard days of work or anxiety or stress. Someone picks up a book, someone may watch a movie. For some, drink can be a way of relaxation. But have you ever thought that if you don't like that book or that movie, you do not get quite relaxed? Even if you get a good book and movie or whatever you consider as part of relaxation, once that particular item is removed, your relaxation also goes away. You become stressed the next day, and the same cycle goes on. Would it not be better instead to have relaxed attitude as a part of your character, where don't you have to force it, right? To understand this, how we can make relaxation as a part of our character and also in the quantum way, let me invite Professor Amit Goswami and Dr. Valentina Onisor. A very warm welcome to both of you.
Thank you,
So,
Krishanu.
the subject of relaxation uh, is something which is an integral part of our life. And here we are saying that whether we can make it a part of our character too, something we don't have to force all the time. So, if it is possible, if yes, how? Over to Professor Goswami.
Okay, so you mentioned already a couple of things that make us anxious. Let's talk about those. Why do we get stressed up after we have done a few hours of work? You will notice, if you are observant, that the reason that you get stressed up is that you don't really like that work. It's a job. You do it, you have your pride, you do it with your skills, you do it with attention. All that is good. Some people cannot even do that because they are bored, they neglect their work. And then they get even more stressed up because they have two things to handle. They are not getting satisfaction, plus, they're always afraid that they will be caught in the fact that they are doing shoddy work. Take the other case. People want to relax because they are anxious otherwise. So anxiety is part of their habit. I am not talking about anxiety neurosis. Then it's a disease and that requires very special treatment. But some people just have anxiety as a habit. Why do you do that? Most important reason for us to address this question as a special webinar is that there is a way to deal with this whole bit of relaxation. Instead of thinking about relaxing when I'm stressed out or when I'm anxious, that relaxation is just a cure. Like we take aspirins when we have a headache. But just as aspirin does not really heal the cause of the headache will return if you don't take care of the cause. Similarly, your anxious mind will remain anxious and will give you anxiety again and again if you don't remove the cause. And similarly, if you don't have an occupation that satisfies you, you will again and again will have the same problem. You'll be stressed out and you will need relaxation, but you will again be stressed out Even the thought of joining your work will stress you out. By the way, did you know that there's the phenomenon of Monday morning? More people have heart attacks on Monday morning than otherwise. Why is that? People get stressed out just by the thought of having to go to work. It's a serious problem. Quantum science is telling us that we have freedom to choose. Even at the level of the ego, we have some freedom. And we can increase that freedom manifold by relaxation. If we knew how to relax. So relaxation, learning to relax has other benefits too. Relaxation, did you know, is part of the creative process? Creative process is alternative doing and doing nothing. Doing in a very focused way on your problem, put up all kinds of solutions that you can imagine, and then do nothing. We just relax. What does that kind of relaxation do? We call it unconscious processing. So unconscious is the key. When you have anxiety, where is the anxiety coming from? Coming from your unconscious. The anxiety that you have about your job that doesn't satisfy you is also coming from your unconscious. You may feel that all you need the job for is making money so that you can entertain yourself more and buy more pleasure items, but your unconscious doesn't work that way. Unconscious keeps all those dissatisfactions, stores it, and it becomes a source of stress. So it's a very, very important question. How do I clean up our unconscious so that it won't be anxious, it won't have fear of working, although it's a dissatisfactory job? And of course, the best answer is for job situation is to get a satisfactory job. We're coming to that. But even before then, since I have to make money to support myself, I might as well at least not hurt myself by doing the work. That's double whammy. I'm already not getting satisfaction. On top of it, if I'm stressed by it, then I'm hurting myself in the sense my physical body will go awry. You see the problems? And blanket solutions like philosophers do. That is not very useful either. If you ask a philosopher, he'll just quote St. Augustine, who said, well, we always live either in the past or in the future. And neither of those things are very relaxing. Past can be scary, and future, of course, we hone on to those things. I mean, we really hone on to those things that are either daydream or forebodings. Daydreams don't help. They disappear as soon as I stop them. We know in our heart that that's not very realistic. Foreboding, it hurts even more because I'm creating a future that may very well come true because I'm adding to already what is a problem. Present-centeredness is a word that people often use. Counselors, philosophers, teachers. You know what? Human brain is made such a way it cannot be present-centered. We cannot be present-centered in order to have a stable state of experience, such as our ego. there's a half a second gap between our present centered experience and the ego experience. That is the verdict of neuroscience. So, what to do? What to do? Part of the answer spiritual traditions have given us for a long time, thousands of years. It is meditation. Indeed, meditation slows us down, help us to be introspective, help us also to enter into this domain of half a second processing that goes on between our present centered possibility of experience and the actual ego experience, called the pre-conscious. Meditation is the way to entering that and therefore get an expansion of consciousness. That has the effect that it will relax you immediately, but it also has the effect that that relaxation becomes a permanent part of you. But you know, meditation works. But so long as you have that unconscious, which is filled with stuff that makes you anxious and fearful and stressed out, unless you deal with that, very difficult to really heal you. My colleague Valentina Onisor calls this mental cleansing. So let's hear what she has to say. Valentina Onisor. Valentina?
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Indeed, this subject of relaxation is still, unfortunately, very much underrated. And especially when you talk about healing, it should not be the case. Because, Professor Goswami just explained a little bit about the do-be-do process. Yeah. But in order to get anything creative and any quantum process, we need to learn how to do and how to be. Doing means mainly that capacity to really act in a focused way, and also being, meaning to be able to relax and expand, of course. So there are two main remedies against nervousness and stress, if you want. Which the main ones would be, I believe, the control of the breathing, or pranayama, how it's called, and deep relaxation. So there is a very strong relation between the mind and the breathing and also the sexual energy. So if you want to really have an effect on all of them, on any of the two, you can work on one. So there are three factors here. So without being able to relax, we cannot speak about peace and happiness. So again, even if other requirements would exist. And besides, relaxation is, of course, also the source of mental creativity. So there was a great yogi, Swami Shivananda, who said that only a relaxed person is creative indeed. And then ideas come to him as fast as lightning. So in quantum science, again, we emphasize the role of vital creativity that needs to be practiced first of all, and then you go into mental creativity. Now, if you want to learn about vital creativity, relaxation is a must. We are combining in quantum science mantras, pranayama, breathing techniques, qigong style movements, and other practices in meditative ways, in the vital arena. But again, all of them, they are done in the do-be-do style. So it's we do something and then the awareness phase, so being is truly part of the relaxation, So relaxation also, if you want to live young and healthy and continue to regenerate, which is actually possible, science proved this already, relaxation is and has to be a main element in the regeneration process, and also in the energetic recovering of any person, actually. So we need to learn how to relax consciously, even a few minutes every day. And even, for example, when you go to sleep, I gave you one example last night, me. So because we have a lot of work and I have to act on multiple ways, and there were so many things. Okay, we have to do this and do that and make a list, and But then eventually, so still the sleep didn't come, and sleeping also is very, very important. There are lots of studies about that. And I did this relaxation, so I did relaxation, a global relaxation. There are practices of relaxation, and especially in hatha yoga. And also I just paid attention to my breathing. I did abdominal breathing, and then very, very soon I fell asleep in a very wonderful state. Actually, it was a lucid dreaming, and I woke up extremely happy and regenerated. So when we do that, we open to certain states of euphoria, even. And again, so there are techniques. Now I'm just going to tell you something again, which I realized lately more and more. For example, I see relaxation being very much combined with grounding. So spending time outdoors. There were times when humans were much more one with the nature than nowadays. And again, we live in this world where it's crisis and it's stress and it's burnout and all that. So if we really like the same way we set up our agenda for doing this and that, we also take time, at least 15 minutes, to, for example, play in the grass or walk barefoot in the grass, under the blue sky if possible, or running barefoot. So why do we need to bog us down continuously with technology only? So right, because you will see that when we do that, it's also the feeling that life becomes easier, and suddenly you are connected to something, to your feelings, to your body, that we have the tendency to forget about. So again, grounding. So what means just a return to basics, and it's also an exposure to nature. Of course, making direct contact with bare feet or hands to the earth surface, and again. What is truly remarkable about this practice of grounding is that its benefits have been touted by people worldwide. So it's globally recognized all over the world for its health benefit and the boost it gives to a person's psychical, physical, and spiritual well-being, even. And there are researches truly, if you can find studies finding the connection between heart health and grounding. And again, imagine, like, if we live in this world and we don't have grounding, which for me comes with that relaxation that I'm talking about. So of course the hearts are getting immediately affected, and immunity is decreasing, and all that. There are so many benefits, like including decreased pain, improved sleep, decrease of the anxious feelings, improve this cortisol rhythm, and even decrease of sadness, and reduces inflammation. It's improving wound healing, and obviously it's helping with mood stability, decreases, of course, the stress response, and there are really many other factors. There are ways you can lie on the ground, for example, just lie in the grass or in the sand, anywhere where it's natural surface of the earth, and this can have deeply regenerative properties. And again, and if you know of any other special method of relaxation, for example, yoga nidra is called in the yoga practice, you can simply listen to the sound of nature. There are still birds on this planet, thank God, but still, even the number is reducing. Or next to a waterfall, if you want, or hear the waves of the ocean, whatever you have nearby, which is nature, which has this vitality unaffected. And not to mention, of course, if you go in a field of lavender, for example, even just thinking of that, it's relaxing. So, and you lie there and listen again to all these sounds of the nature, not just the cars passing by, and you will see what very interesting phenomena is happening, how you are immediately expanding and you are connecting. You are discovering that happiness that exists in each of us, but we lose the contact with ourselves. So yeah, so again, there are a lot of effects of relaxation regarding our own state of happiness and expansion of consciousness. But then again, immediately this will reflect in your state of health and then creativity as well. When you have your lover, obviously, just think a love relation. If the other one is constantly stressed and contracted, obviously, so it's not so easy, So of course, if the two people are conscious, then you can help each other really relax. Like, for example, a very good massage with a warm oil and preparing this nice atmosphere, again, based on love there. So that will help a lot. And again, you cannot love if you're not relaxed. For a woman, what to talk about? I know for women, especially because we have our special structure, which is very different than men, especially in what regards vitality, is fundamental to learn about relaxation. It goes hand in hand with how we have what is called awaken, the state of Shakti, the state of woman, and being in resonance with what you call eternal feminine, actually. So the relation, I mean, between vitality, creativity, and the state of relaxation, especially in a woman, is tremendous. So these are just a few keys, if you want, but it's very important, really.
Thank you, Valentina. Thank you so much. Yes, of course, in a woman, it's really wonderful to have these things. And now we again move back to Dr. Goswami for a wrap up and maybe define in a more clear terms what we are talking about if we are thinking or accepting relaxation as a regular way of life.
Thank you, Krishanu. Well, I'll just fill in a couple of gaps of what we have presented. One thing is very important to recognize how we reinforce the behavior, how we cause this anxious behavior. Anxiety comes to us, and anxiety is something good because it will remind us something that has to be done, something impending that way. It has a role to play. But if we just let it play the role and let go, that would be one thing. Is there any purpose of repeating? We repeat because we think that otherwise how can I remember? So we reinforce the memory by repeating, repeating, repeating. And then that becomes a habit. Everything of anxiety, we just keep on regurgitating it. It becomes part of a habit pattern. You're an anxious person. I myself am that way in one specific area, which is catching an airplane or catching a train. Makes me anxious because of that same thing. The behavior started trying to remember. I had forgotten one time and missed an airplane that produced a lot of hardship. So I remember that incident, and ever since I developed this habit. But there are other ways to deal with it. I should have done that. For example, today, everybody has cell phone. Well, of course, in those days we didn't. That was part of the reason. I had to set an alarm that is kind of clumsy with a watch to do it. I may not be able to hear the watch. Anyway, I had my reasons to develop that anxiety habit about catching a plane or a train. But truly, today, it's no problem because you can set an alarm in your cell phone and set it with a large sound, booming sound, so you will hear it. What's the need then of the anxious thinking? But once you have developed the character, it's hard to get rid of. But you can reverse the process also. See, we memorize by repeating, 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 reinforce the memory. And then we can recall it better and it comes to forth very easily, all understandable. Can we also undo the memory by not paying attention to it? Yeah, we can. So one of the advice for people with anxiety is not to get to stimuli which makes you anxious. For example, an anxious person who gets anxious about catching a plane simply gives the responsibility of catching a plane to somebody else. You are free of that anxiety because somebody else will remind you. See? So, simplest way really is even better. Why let the anxiety form in the first place? An anxious thought come, do we have to hold on to it and suffer? No. This is where meditation in a skillful way comes in. If we just meditate on that anxious thought, you will realize something that Sufis have been specially professing for ages. This too shall pass. Every thought, emotional thought, anxious thought, fearful thought, stressful thought passes if we don't hold on to it. Our problem is that we have developed a pattern of holding on to it. We don't have to, you know. You practice this for a while, just hold on to these thoughts of anxiety and let it pass. This too shall pass is a great way of learning to get rid of this kind of behavior with respect to stuff that you need relaxation for. Then you are always relaxed. If you once you learn to do that, once that becomes a character, then you never let this kind of bad character happen again, bad habit pattern happen again. You just anything that distracts you from relaxation, relaxed mind, you just use this recipe. This too shall pass. Practice it for a while, you will see that you have become established in this kind of habit. Anytime somebody hurls an insult at you, anytime your own unconscious hurls a fearful thought at you, anxious thought at you, anytime the job satisfaction comes up, you just watch the thought and let it go. That's it. Practice, 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 it becomes part of character. That's what we call a relaxed person. A person who does not dwell on his or her thoughts. Simple, huh? Okay, so practice it. It's not so simple, it will take long practice, but I have done it, it can be done. It's very and once you do it, then as Krishanu said, it becomes easy without effort. What a beautiful way to live, isn't it? Thank you.
Is a wonderful advice, and but you yourself mentioned it. It's so simple but profound. We need to understand that most important things in life, they are simple, free, easy things, but we find it difficult to practice them on a regular basis and really integrate these things. So this is one of it, and thank you very much, both of you, for being on the show and expressing your views so that our viewers, our audience can really learn and practice some of this and make relaxation a part of their character. We will be happy to answer any questions that our audiences may have. You can reach out to us at info@amitgoswami.org. We'll be very happy to answer to you. We are having the master's and PhD admissions open as of now. Please go to our website www.amitgoswami.org and you will find all the information there. You can always reach out for this through our Facebook as well, and Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, whichever platform you think is right for you. You can reach out to us and we will respond and I will see what it leads to. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being with us. See you next week.